Hello, everyone. Welcome to Street Politics with Talessia. If you're not up under a rock, you all know that. Hold on. You all know that Michael Cohen just got sentenced in the New York federal courthouse to 36 months for taxi. I believe this part is for tax evasion and something else. I know Robert Mueller charged him with lying to Congress, so I guess that's something separate. But today, for tax evasion, you know what I'm saying? Like, people, y'all gotta pay y'all. Hey, how are you? Y'all people gotta pay y'all taxes. Like, Uncle Sam do not play about wanting his money. You know what I'm saying? Him as a lawyer, you would think he would have known that. And I done seen plenty of people, famous people, go to jail for tax evasion. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. Just pay your taxes, okay? So, in the midst of Michael Cohen getting sentenced, a lot of people not familiar with how sentencing go. First, you go to pre-sentence investigation, and you will get them, your story or why did you commit this crime. And I know this because I've been there. You know what I'm saying? So I know exactly how this go with the court system. They send you the pre-sentence investigation. They ask you, how do you feel about this crime? What's your remorse? They ask you about your family, all the things you're doing in the community, everything to sum up you and why you did and how remorseful you are for the crime that you committed. And they send that to the judge, and the judge, read off that and give off what, the prosecutors and the pre-sentence investigator get a judge, to kind of see where they can see where they can sentence you from or whatever. So you gotta think. This is what I want people to understand. When you go into court and you get busted for anything, any information you give them that can be helpful for them to prosecute somebody else, or they will give you a lenient sentence. So his thing is, Robert Mueller said that he's cooperating with them about Trump. So be lenient on give him. He said 48 months. He actually wanted him to get more time than actually what the judge gave him. The judge gave him the lower end of the sentence, which is 36 months. But see, this is what another thing we need to understand. This is what the First Step Act is talking about. How you go on these sentencing guidelines. Like, they don't get the judge the opportunity to give you whatever time fit for. These are mandatory sentences that you have to go by. And that's what the First Step Act is about. Now, even though I believe Michael Cohen is a liar, I can't cherry pick what I want to pick, especially if I'm going to be an advocate for prison reform. And I've been talking about prison reform for years. I just put out on my page a tweet I put out in 2013 talking about prison reform. You see what I'm saying? But see, this is the thing that I don't like about how the FBI do it. You get caught in something that they got something to do with his taxes. Now, I don't know if they've been investigating his taxes or they started investigating his taxes because he was with Trump. You know what I'm saying? They want to get some on him, so they go. Sorry y'all. So they go get these lower end people, and hold on. They go get these lower end people, get them on a crime that they committed. Hold on. Sorry. They go get, people and get them on a crime they commit to get them to tell on the next person. So this is what, the news is having a field day, especially about him getting sentenced, but the things that he said in court. When Michael Cohen went into court, he basically put the blame on his tax evasion and lying to Congress on Trump. This one thing I learned. Let me tell you something. I have told y'all numerous times. I have a past. Anybody can look it up. I done been to prison 3 times. I done been in the courts getting sentenced in front of judges for what I used to do. I lost count. You know what I'm saying? So when you go in front of a judge, your lawyer tell you plead mercy. You just sound sympathetic. Tell them about your kids. Say this and say that. This is what your lawyers tell you to do. And that's what you do, because at the end of the day, when you go in front of a lawyer, the judge to get sentenced, you want to just feel like you just this old helpless person that just committed these crimes and you don't know what you're doing. Basically, all you doing is trying to get out of trouble. Every time I went in front of a judge, except for my last time I went in front of a judge when I actually stopped doing what I was doing. But every other time in front of that, I went in front of the judge to say anything to get less time possible, if try not to get no time. That's what you do. So he in front of the judge blaming Trump, saying he had a blind loyalty to President Trump, putting all the blame on him, to make it seem like he's sympathetic. But see, another thing I know judges don't like you to do is for you to sit up here and not take responsibility for your own actions. Trump wasn't doing your taxes. He wasn't doing your taxes, and even if Trump did tell you to lie to Congress, he didn't put a gun to your head. You went in front of the cameras talking about you would take a bullet for Trump. You the one went in front of everybody, you know what I'm saying all this stuff about Trump. But then when you got caught up, you want to bring Trump, try to bring Trump down with you. Now at the end of the day, with this campaign finance thing that they trying to get Trump on, that's the part that Cohen is cooperating with Robert Mueller about, this payment that was made to this porn star, and about this being a campaign finance violation, which to me, I don't see it as a campaign violation, because none of the money that was given to Trump from donors was used. He used his personal money to pay have Stormy Daniels not go to the media about her affair that she had with Trump. But y'all got to understand this. What Trump did is what probably 80% of Congress do. They stories that they don't want to come out. They make somebody sign some type of agreement for them to bind them up, for them not to say anything. In some cases they call them cease and desist, where, hey, you're not gonna say this about me, so I'm gonna send you this, and if you say something about me, I can sue you, and this is that. What he did was legal. Now, we can argue the grounds of it being moral, but I can't argue the grounds of it being moral, because that's not my husband. That's Melania's husband. She has to deal with the fact of whatever he did on her with this porn star years ago. That's not none of my business. That shouldn't be none of our business to start off with. So by him going to court and making it about Trump, he's trying to get out of that. That's what you do. Every time I went in front of a judge, besides the last time I went, I said anything. Hey, Your Honor, I got a bad stealing habit. I need help. Please give me I got 2 kids. I'm so sorry. I won't do it again. And I did it again, and I did it again, and I did it again. But I sat up there and lied in front of the judges. And this is what happens. That what Michael Cohen did is nothing new. You have to understand, he's trying to get everybody missing the fact that Michael Cohen is trying to get up out of trouble by any means necessary. Because if they would have never charged Michael Cohen with tax evasion, he would have never said that Trump knew about the payment. See, this is all a game for him, because he's trying to get out of trouble. But at the end of the day, him paying her, that has nothing to do with that's not, I don't see it as a campaign finance violation when you that's his money, out of his personal money. What are we supposed to do? Okay, and then another thing that y'all need to understand this. When a prosecutor wants you to testify against somebody, they usually wait until after they get the person that they want, so you can cooperate with them. You see what I'm saying? Because just say this. Okay, I caught a case and I go tell on somebody. And the person I told on is the one that the FBI, the people they want. They will usually hold off on sentencing me because they need me. Because once I get sentenced, no judge can go back and take my sentence away. And say if I get sentenced and then out the blue I say, you know what, I don't want to testify. I don't want all that I said about Trump, that ain't true. And it's nothing that the only thing they can charge him with is obstruction of justice. That's really nothing. That's the only thing they can charge him with is obstruction. But it defeats the purpose because that's not what they want. They want the other person. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of, that don't make sense to me that they let Michael Cohen and letting Paul Manafort go get sentenced. And they acting like they're supposed to be cooperating with them against Trump. But y'all let, by them getting sentenced, they can go back, anything they said now, it don't matter if they wrote it down on statement, told them that, they can say they lied. That ain't nothing but obstruction of justice. Now, me personally, for tax evasion, I don't think Michael Cohen should have went to prison. Here he is talking about prison reform. In the midst of talking about prison reform, in the midst of talking about this prison reform bill about sentencing guidelines, this is exactly what they just did to Michael Cohen. They just did exactly what this First Step Act bill want to take back from the federal prison. Because tax evasion, I don't think nobody should go to prison for 3 years for tax evasion. That's outrageous. And he's never been, we got to give him, even if we don't like Michael Cohen by him lying, I feel like he lying trying to get out of trouble and say anything on Trump. But I also have to understand the way the system doing them too. I can point out two things. I can do two things at one time. You see what I'm saying? Because that's not, and he never been in trouble. This is his first time being in trouble. So his first time being in trouble, he gotta go to prison for 3 years. This is the kind of system we living in. Whether we agree to whatever and it's a non-violent, what they call them, white collar crimes. But he gets 3 years. But this is what we advocating for. See, I can't stop my advocation for prison for him because I disagree with the things that Michael Cohen did. Because I'm not giving him no pass on. I believe he lying about the stuff with Trump. He trying to get out of trouble. I see that a mile away. This is what they do when they get in trouble. They try to get everybody else into him. But I also have to call out the justice system on the same thing that we advocating for. Why is it a mandatory sentence on a crime like tax evasion? I'm not allowed to have a firearm. If I get caught with a firearm is in my possession, I'm facing a minimum sentence of 1 to 5 years according to Ohio law. According to Ohio law, I'm facing 1 to 5 years. Now, most judges, seeing that with my background, they'll probably give me like 3 years for having this gun, because that's just the guidelines. So here it is that I'm a convicted felon. I get knocked with a firearm. I get 3 years, and Michael Cohen gets 3 years for not paying the government some money. Like, how does those levels of crime? Like, I don't think nobody should be in jail I don't think nobody should be in jail for that. I think that's ridiculous. And we can't not act like it's not ridiculous because you know we support Trump and the way the things that he's doing. We have to call out both sides. Now, I'm not taking up for him, and you know what I'm saying, what he did was wrong. He should have paid his taxes, whatever the case may be, with his business dealings. Like, how are you a financial, I know somebody that had a financial person, a pastor. He had a financial person over his finances. It was supposed to do everything right, to a lot of money. Okay, C.J. Matthews at Mount Sinai Baptist Church in Cleveland, Ohio. You can look that up. He got sentenced to a couple of years for not paying his taxes. I think that's just, to me, just ridiculous. I don't know. I mean, I just think this is all ridiculous, and it's all about because they want to take Trump down. This has nothing to do with nobody breaking them down. They didn't care nothing about Michael Cohen not paying his taxes. Because if they did, why did they take so long to them? And how did y'all know Michael Cohen didn't pay his taxes? Who went? How do y'all go about going into these people's tax business without them knowing? Like, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of this just comes into place. But all that Michael Cohen on there talking about his loyalty with Trump, that's why he did what he did. Trump was not with you when you did your taxes. And trust me, every time I like I stated earlier in this video, when you go in front of the judge, you say anything to get out of trouble. I don't care who you is, where you come from. You say, I never seen some, well, you have some cases where some people go in front of the judge and probably cuss them out. But you don't go in front of no judge acting like you don't care. You go in front of the judge pleading, begging, and saying anything to get out of trouble. I mean, that's just what you do. So all that, all these news stories is going to be running with. All these news stories is going to be running with this stuff Michael Cohen said about loyalty with the president. That's why he want to do. So watch out for these in the headline, you all. I'm about to just brace yourself early. I don't even probably want to turn on the news for a few days because until this blows over, because this is what they're going to be talking about. Him saying how he was so loyal to the thing. He went in front of the judge. Please, when you go in front of the judge, you're trying to get out of trouble. I don't care who you is, where you came from, who you with. You trying to get out of trouble, and you just say anything to the judge. So what he's saying is him trying to get out of trouble. Period, point blank. It's no way around none of that. So we can sit up here and debate all day about this, that, but what we need to be focused on is why did Robert Mueller, why did Robert Mueller let him get sentenced if he's supposed to have all this corroborating evidence on Trump? Because now that he's sentenced, he can go back and say anything he want to say. He can say he was lying. He can say this. He can say that. We you know what I'm saying? We just don't know. And this is just all speculation of what I'm saying and how I feel. Because I have a right. I'm entitled to my opinion. And that's just how I feel. So I wasn't caring about how he saying all this. And then I don't think he should have got 3 years in prison. And that's just for tax evasion. Or even lying to the police. I don't think you should get 3 years. And you never in your life been in trouble? You never in your life been in trouble. And you get, by these sentencing guidelines, what we talking about with the FBI, you get 3 years. You automatically got to get some time. Which I don't think is right. But hey, that's just my opinion. So now I believe, on the 17th that Manafort gets sentenced. So we gotta wait and come and see how this plays out with Manafort, because they offer Manafort Robert Mueller said no time for him. So this is just all wishy-washy. I'm just ready for Mueller to come on with this investigation. Like, what do you have? What's going on? Let the American people know so we can just go on, so we can get all these speculations out the way about if Trump colluded with the Russians, because we still have not seen not one evidence with all these people that has been indicted, that's been around Trump. Not one of them is charged with colluding with Russia, with Trump campaign. So let's keep that open in mind. And that's all I want to say. I will be talking about, I don't even know what to call that, yesterday with Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump and Chuck Schumer. So you all have a blessed day. I'm going to let my phone charge up, then I'll come back and tell y'all about that.